The air inside the courthouse was thick, stale, like it hadn't been breathed in weeks. Every tick of the wall clock sounded louder than it should, echoing above the courtroom doors. Even the bailiff seemed confused about why he'd been called in so early. It was just past 9 in the morning, but already something felt wrong. Meri Brown entered quietly through the front doors, head lowered, no sunglasses, no smile. The signature jewelry she always wore, gone. The bright colors she used to favor, gone too. Only a heavy black coat that nearly swallowed her whole. In her right hand, a manila folder, torn at one corner, bent where her fingers clutched too tightly. She took a seat on the left-hand bench, hands folded, eyes flicking toward the door every few seconds. She had arrived 40 minutes before Kody. That alone raised questions. But the moment Meri walked in, Robyn jolted. Her body went rigid, her jaw locked tight. She didn't speak. Meri didn't even glance her way. Then the judge entered. A petite woman with silver hair and reading glasses perched at the end of her nose, her face carved by years of listening to more lies than truths. She flipped through the emergency docket, looked up at Meri, and spoke evenly. "You're seeking an emergency protective order, Ms. Brown. On what grounds?" Meri stood, calm, composed, no tears, no theatrics. "She showed up at my home," Meri said. "I asked her to leave. She didn't, and she threatened me." Robyn's head snapped toward the bench. "That's not true." The judge lifted a hand, silencing her. "You'll have your turn." The clerk's fingers hovered over the keyboard. No one moved. No one even breathed. "Do you have any evidence?" The judge asked. Meri didn't speak. She simply handed the folder to her attorney, who nodded and passed it forward. Inside, screenshots, a short audio clip, and a 2-minute video from her home security feed. Low resolution, but time-stamped, geotagged, verified. What had begun as whispers of family tension had now crossed into legal war. Robyn shifted in her seat, her face pale, voice cracking. "She's taking it out of context. I just wanted to talk." But the judge had already motioned for the folder to be stamped Exhibit A, and that's when everything began to unravel. 2 nights earlier, 2 nights before this hearing, Meri had been filming one of her private video diaries. Nothing for the internet, just small personal recordings, her way of processing the silence that followed years of not being heard. She was talking about selling her bed and breakfast when there came a sharp, urgent knock. Not a doorbell, just a knock. Quick, insistent. She froze. It was 10:32 p.m. Nobody came uninvited anymore. Peering through the window, her stomach dropped. Robyn. No makeup. No smile, just a hoodie. And something clutched tightly against her chest. Meri cracked open the window slightly. "Robyn, what are you doing here?" Robyn's voice trembled. "Please, just 5 minutes. It's about Kody, about everything." Meri didn't move. "Not tonight. It has to be now," Robyn insisted. "I can't go home with this." She lifted the folder, the same one now in Meri's lap in court. Meri hesitated. She didn't know what Robyn was holding. A secret? A trap? Or both? Robyn's voice cracked. "You're the only one who'll believe me. Christine won't talk to me. Janelle blocked me. Please, Meri." Meri's eyes narrowed. "Then call the police." "No!" Robyn's tone turned frantic. "They'll twist it. We can fix this together. Make him tell the truth." Meri's patience broke. "You need to leave, Robyn." Something shifted in Robyn's eyes. The tears stopped. The softness vanished. "So you're just like the rest of them," she hissed. "You turn your back, and when it all explodes, don't say I didn't warn you." Meri locked the deadbolt and stepped away. The evidence in court, Meri's attorney played the footage. The room went silent except for the grainy audio. Robyn's voice rising, pleading, then darkening. Her pacing. Her veiled threats. When it ended, the judge looked up. "Was anyone else present?" "No," said Meri, "but I texted Christine afterward." The judge nodded. "Submit the statement." "And Miss Brown," she turned to Robyn, "do you deny being at her house?" Robyn's voice cracked. "No, I was there. But not like that. I was scared. I wasn't trying to threaten her. I was trying to protect her." "From what?" the judge asked. Robyn's gaze drifted toward the back of the courtroom, to Christine, sitting quietly, fingers laced in her lap. "That folder," Robyn whispered, "wasn't meant for court." "Then what was it for?" the judge pressed. Silence. Some truths scream louder when left unspoken. That night, Christine had indeed received a message from Meri at 10:44 p.m. "She's here. Won't leave. Says it's about Kody." Christine had read it, stared at it, then placed her phone face down. Robyn had a habit of drama, but this time something felt different. The second folder. What was meant to be a short procedural hearing had now spiraled into something much larger. Robyn's lawyer asked for a delay. Denied. Meri's lawyer requested access to the shared storage units between Robyn and Kody. Approved. The walls of secrecy were starting to crumble. And then, unexpectedly, Robyn stood up. "I want to say something," she said softly. "Not as a defendant. As a mother." The judge nodded. Robyn's voice trembled, but there was iron beneath it now. "I didn't go there to hurt her. I went because I was desperate. He made me sign things I didn't understand. If those documents go public, he'll blame me for everything." She looked at the judge, but I wasn't the only one who knew. The courtroom turned. All eyes on Meri, but Meri didn't flinch. She finally raised her head, voice calm, unwavering. "Then you won't mind if we open the second envelope?" Robyn blinked. "What second envelope?" Meri reached into her coat pocket and pulled out another sealed folder, thicker, heavier. The judge frowned. "Ms. Brown, what is this?" "Evidence," Meri said. "Proof this didn't start last week. It's been going on for years." Robyn's mouth opened, but no sound came out. The judge called a recess. The gavel struck wood. And outside, for the first time that morning, a black SUV pulled up. Kody Brown stepped out, alone, no lawyer, no tie. Just a blank stare, the kind of look from a man who knows the past has finally caught up to him. The return. When the courtroom reconvened, Kody was seated on the right-hand side, hands clasped, expression hollow. Robyn sat rigid, trembling. Her attorney whispered something to her, but she didn't seem to hear. Meri sat motionless, eyes fixed on the folder. Not the first one, the second. The one she hadn't yet opened. The judge's voice cut through the tension. "We've reviewed the preliminary evidence submitted by Ms. Brown. At this time, the respondent may explain her actions. Miss Robyn Brown, please approach the stand." Robyn didn't move at first, then rose slowly. Each step echoed on the marble floor. She took the stand, her breath uneven. "State your name for the record." "Robyn Alice Brown." "Do you understand why you're here?" "Yes." "Do you admit you visited Meri Brown's home that night?" Her voice was barely audible. "Yes." "And why did you go there?" Robyn swallowed. "Not to fight. Not to scare her. I went because I didn't know what else to do." The judge leaned forward. "And what were you trying to do?" Robyn's voice cracked. "I was trying to stop everything from getting out of control." Meri lifted her gaze, calm, steady. No hatred, no fear. Just finality. Robyn's attorney stood. "Your Honor, my client requests to offer context, her state of mind, the circumstances leading up to that night." But the judge raised her hand. "She'll have that chance. After we open what's inside that second folder." The room froze. The second folder sat between them like a time bomb. And everyone, Meri, Robyn, and Kody, knew that when it opened, it wouldn't just expose who lied. It would expose why. It wouldn't just expose who lied. It would expose why. The judge paused, fingers steepled, then inclined her head. "Go on." Robyn closed her eyes and breathed in slow. "I've been accused of a lot," she began, voice shaking at first, then finding its rhythm. Manipulation, deceit, controlling Kody, breaking up the family. A brittle laugh slipped out. "Maybe some of that is true. I didn't enter this life the way the others did. I brought baggage, expectations. I didn't cause the fracture, I watched it happen." She shifted in the witness chair as if the wood could hold less of her weight. "Kody changed after the show," she said. "After the fame. He began doing things in private, quiet things about money. He'd hand me papers and say, 'Don't worry about the details.' I signed. I told myself I didn't know what they were." The judge's eyebrow rose. "You're saying you were coerced?" Robyn swallowed. "I'm saying I was willing to be blind." She turned, eyes finding Kody. Her voice split on the next words. "I wanted to be obedient, loyal, not to question. Every time I did, he punished me with silence." Kody's face stayed unreadable. Christine and Janelle exchanged a quick look in the gallery. Meri leaned forward. This was no defense. It read like confession. The breaths came faster now. "That folder I had that night, I didn't plan to use it on anyone. I found it by accident in our storage unit. It was in a box marked property tax records, but inside were papers he said he'd burned." Robyn wiped her cheeks. Bank transfers, withdrawals, business records with Meri and Christine's names forged. The judge nodded to the bailiff. "Bring it in." Meri gave a single small nod and pushed the second envelope forward. Her lawyer slid it to the bench. The judge opened it slowly, as if unsealing a wound. Inside were bank slips, photocopies of signatures, and a smaller envelope stamped, "Robyn, do not show." She lifted it, read, then set it down with a hand that trembled only a little. "Your Honor," Christine said, standing. "May I approach?" The courtroom rustled. The judge permitted it. Christine moved to the bench, eyes fixed on the paper in the judge's hand. "I know that handwriting," she said. "That's mine." "Do you know anything about this envelope?" the judge asked. Christine's jaw tightened. "No, but if it's what I think it is..." She left the sentence hanging like a held breath. The judge unfolded the last page. A photocopy of a check stared up, dated 5 years prior and bearing Christine's signature, payable to a company Kody always denied any connection to. A post-it on the copy read in a different hand, "Robyn will burn this if she ever finds out." Christine went pale. "That's a check I wrote when we refinanced the house," she said. "He told me it was for renovations." The judge's tone hardened. "Would you like to file charges?" Christine exhaled, stunned. "Yes, if that's how it appears, yes." Kody finally spoke, voice flat. "None of this proves anything. It's taken out of context." "You will remain silent until called, Mr. Brown," the judge snapped. Silence settled like dust. Robyn bowed her head. "I didn't want to be here," she whispered. "I didn't want this. But when I realized he was setting me up to take the fall, I panicked." The judge leaned in. "Why not report it sooner?" she asked. "Because he told me no one would believe me," Robyn said. "He'd make me the scapegoat." He was right. "You all already saw me as the villain? So I survived by playing the role." For a single beat, Meri watched Robyn, the woman who once wept in her kitchen pleading for peace. That woman was gone. In her place stood someone who had finally cracked. The judge sifted through the documents one by one. "We will recess for 30 minutes, she announced. "I am referring this evidence to the court financial investigator. When we return, we will determine whether this matter rises beyond a protective order." The gavel fell, a sharp, decisive crack. Chaos spilled into the hallway. Reporters clamored. Camera flashes popped. Kody left in a hurry, moving through the press as if driven. "Kody, wait!" Robyn called, but he didn't stop. Christine stood aloof, arms folded. Janelle remained motionless. Meri came out last, silent but composed. Robyn's breakdown had not been a melodrama. It had provided the judge with probable cause for further action, perhaps even criminal inquiry. Robyn's phone buzzed. She glanced down. A text blinked from an unknown number. "You weren't supposed to bring that folder." No name, only threat. Her fingers trembled. She looked toward the corridor where Kody had disappeared. The room felt suddenly colder. Later, back in the courtroom, the judge read aloud the declaration she'd signed. A formal request for a financial investigation. When Meri was called, she rose without hesitation. Calm, steady, she approached the stand and did something no one expected. She smiled. Not smugly, quietly, almost serene, as if a long-lived weight had begun to lift. The clerk asked her to raise her right hand. She complied. "Do you have anything further to submit?" the judge asked. Meri dug into her purse and produced a phone. "Yes," she said. She unlocked it, opened an app, and tapped a file labeled Sunday Night Recording Wander 1. She handed the phone to the bailiff, who carried it to the bench. The judge fitted on an earpiece and listened. 10 seconds in, her pupils dilated. 30 seconds, and she removed the earpiece, face stunned. "Miss Brown," she said quietly, "do you have authority to present this as evidence?" "Yes, Your Honor. I recorded it in my house." "Play it." The courtroom filled with sound. Kody's voice, cold and contemptuous, sharp as broken glass. "If she doesn't stop talking about the books, I'll bury her in paperwork. Make her look like the fraud." A low, humorless chuckle. "If she ever shows that folder to anyone, especially Christine, I'll burn this whole thing down." The gallery exhaled in a collective gasp. Some things don't require a judge to be true. They merely need to be heard aloud. Robyn slipped back into the courtroom during the playback, face whitening as recognition hit. She had been there in that recording. The judge halted the tape. "Who did Kody mean, Miss Brown?" she asked. "Me," Meri replied without flinching. "Did you feel in danger?" the judge pressed. "Not physically," Meri answered, steady. "But emotionally, legally, psychologically. He knew how to terrify us without ever touching us. He corrupted our records, misfiled returns, used our names without consent. Some of those documents were signed by Robyn, but I don't believe she understood what she was signing. Robyn's breath hitched. Meri continued, voice gathering power. I didn't come to court for chaos. I wanted closure. But when Robyn came to my door scared and holding that folder, I realized we were all sitting on a fire. The show made him the star. He used us to build his business, LLCs, accounts, and when things went bad, he gaslit us. He'd say, "You don't understand business," or "I'll handle it. Trust me." I trusted him. Now I'm here asking the court for protection from someone who followed his lead because silence was the only way we survived. Silence fell. Robyn wept without sound.
Christine bowed her head.
The judge tapped her pen once decisively. "I've heard enough," she said. "For today, I grant a temporary restraining order in favor of Meri Brown against Robyn Brown for 30 days, pending further investigation." She looked up. "I am referring this case to the district attorney's office for possible financial fraud, tax evasion, and identity misuse." The courtroom buzzed. Kody had not returned. Christine allowed a small, wary smile. Robyn remained still. Meri nodded once, not triumphantly, but with the calm of someone who had finally been seen. The judge leaned forward one last time. "Miss Brown, you mentioned a third sealed item." Meri paused, then, with deliberate slowness, produced a final envelope from deep within her purse. This one was black and plastic sealed, stamped, "Do not open unless he lies." Before the judge could call him, Kody rose from the gallery. He strode toward the bench as if toward a stage, his posture demanding to be heard. His attorney hurried after him, whispering cautions that Kody brushed aside. "I must be heard," he said, voice hard with a man's insistence. "This has gone far enough," he said, voice hard with a man's insistence. "This has gone far enough." The judge regards him wearily. "Mr. Brown, you are not a named defendant in this hearing. Are you requesting to make a voluntary statement under oath?" Kody adjusts his collar. "I am." "Then take the stand." He steps forward with the swagger of a man who's told this story 1,000 times, the hero in his own saga. But today, there's no applause. No cameraques. Just silence. He takes the oath, hand raised, jaw tight. "This family," he begins, "has been through a lot. Cameras in our homes, editors twisting words, producers pushing for drama. Through it all, I tried to lead this family the best way I could." His eyes sweep the gallery. Christine, Janelle, Meri. "I'm not flawless. I've erred. I've said things I regret. But this courtroom melodrama, this ambush, isn't justice. It's vengeance." His voice cracks. "Meri's angry because I moved on. Christine's bitter because I didn't chase her. Janelle, she's never been loyal. And Robyn? She's become the scapegoat for chaos they all created." He faces the judge. "I didn't forge. I didn't threaten. I held this family together while everyone else tore it apart." The room tightens. Christine mutters something under her breath. Meri doesn't move. "There are documents being twisted out of context," Kody continues. "Folders passed around like we're still on a TV set. But no one's asking why now? Why these women, who couldn't stand to be in the same room, suddenly show up united?" He leans closer. "You think that's coincidence?" The judge interrupts. "Mr. Brown, you are under oath. Let's clarify. Are you denying that you told Robyn Brown to burn financial records?" Kody scoffs. "I don't recall saying that." "Are you denying that you forged any signatures?" "I didn't fake anything. If signatures exist, it's because I was told it was okay." "By whom?" He hesitates. His lawyer stands. "Your Honor, my client declines to answer anything that might incriminate him unless formally charged." The judge nods. "Noted, but the damage is done." Robyn's eyes widen. Meri raises an eyebrow. Christine starts scribbling notes. Kody presses on. "That recording Meri presented, it was private. Taken out of context. I was blowing off steam. Any leader knows that pressure." The judge tilts her head. "So you acknowledge the voice is yours?" Kody stops, then nods. "Yes, that's enough." She turns to the clerk. "Enter into record. The witness confirms voice identification on the submitted audio exhibit." Kody glares at Meri, then at Robyn. "So this is it? You all needed a villain. I fit the bill. It's no longer defense. It's collapse." Christine stands. "Your Honor, may I speak?" Kody slams the stand. "Of course she does. That's what this is, a pack of wolves circling." The gavel strikes. "Order!" But Kody keeps shouting. "You believe them because they cry on cue. Because they play victims. I carried this family financially, emotionally, while they shredded it. He turns to Robyn. And you, I defended you when no one else would. And this is how you repay me? Robyn doesn't answer. Her eyes fix on the black folder on the judge's bench. The one stamped, "Do not open unless he lies," and he just did. Meri rises slowly. Your Honor, permission to unseal the final folder. The judge eyes Kody. You said you never forged anything. Correct? I said I don't remember. Not the same thing. The judge opens the folder. Inside, a photocopy of a notarized lease agreement. Christine's signature dated 3 months after she'd already moved out. Christine gasps. That's not mine. I never signed that. I wasn't even in the state. The judge holds it up. Initials, witness, Robyn Brown. Owner, Kody Brown. Robyn stands, trembling. He told me it was for taxes. I didn't know. Christine's shaking now. That's a fraud form. Used to bind me legally to property I no longer owned. You used it to claim me on taxes. Kody opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. The truth doesn't need an explanation when the paper trail screams louder than the man. The judge sets the folder down. We're finished here. This hearing resumes in 24 hours with state investigators present. She eyes Kody. You will need real counsel. Then at Robyn. And Miss Brown, you too. You are now at legal risk. The gavel falls. Court adjourned. Flashes explode outside. Reporters shout. But inside, Robyn sits frozen, motionless as if blinking could start an avalanche. Later that night, the judge opens her drawer. A single unmarked envelope rests there. No postmark, no name. Just one handwritten letter, signed Leon Brown, the ink smudged. The message raw. Sometimes the quietest testimonies aren't spoken. They're written by the ones no one thought were watching. The next day, the courtroom buzzes. New name on the witness list, Leon Brown. Meri gasps. Christine's mouth drops. Kody freezes. Robyn looks terrified. Leon enters calmly. I wasn't subpoenaed. I volunteered. The judge nods. You may take the stand. Leon lays a wrinkled note on the bench. I wrote this, but I'd rather read it myself. They begin, steady, unflinching. My name is Leon Brown. I'm the child of Meri and Kody Brown. I've watched the restraining orders, the forged signatures, the threats, but none of it addresses the real issue. Control. Control disguised as faith. Control disguised as patriarchy. Control disguised as family. Leon's words hang in the air like a mirror. I saw Robyn rewarded for obedience. I saw my mother punished for speaking. Christine smiling through neglect. Janelle holding everyone together while dying inside. And I stayed silent until now. Kody looks gutted. Robyn won't meet Leon's eyes. Christine sobs silently. I found a document with my name, Leon continues. A trust form. Signed, but not by me. Next to my name was Robyn's. Robyn shakes her head. It was just a form. Leon raises a hand. That form was used to claim me as a dependent after I'd been on my own for years. They pass the copy to the judge. Are you saying your name was used fraudulently? Leon nods. Yes, on taxes. On paperwork. Even on TV. They turn toward Kody. You used my name to keep your image alive. Even after I left. Kody snaps. You don't know what you're saying. Leon stays cool. I have the emails. They hand another envelope to the bailiff. Emails from Kody's old account. Subject. Can we still use Leon's name this year? Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Robyn whispers, I told him not to. Kody growls, you signed off. I didn't know what I was signing. The truth doesn't crumble, it explodes. The judge thanks Leon for their courage. They place a hand on Meri's before leaving, then walk out quietly, no cameras, no words. The judge exhales. This court will escalate the case to include identity fraud and tax evasion. The bailiff steps forward. Kody and Robyn now under state investigation. Christine stands. Your Honor, one more thing. The judge sighs. Go ahead. Christine plays a recording. Kody's voice. If Meri ever tries to get something from me, I'll bury her in court. I'll make her look jealous. She won't survive the PR. The judge's face hardens. Robyn breaks down, tears, sobs, but no one comforts her. Because this time, the act doesn't work. 3 days later, the state investigators arrive. Sharp suits, cold eyes. They don't care about TV drama, just numbers. This hearing is now under observation by the State Fraud Division, the lead detective announces. What we found gives cause for serious concern. Slide on the screen. 2017, trust established 2020, dependent misreporting. 2022, forged lease. 2023, personal write-offs, word on screen. Fraud, estimated financial gain, $150,000, the investigator says. Gasps. Kody rises. I didn't do it alone. A collective pause. He turns. Robyn did the paperwork. She had access. She handled the banking. Robyn's eyes blaze. You told me what to sign. I don't recall saying that. The investigator steps in. Miss Brown, do you wish to make a voluntary statement? Silence, then softly, I'll cooperate. And just like that, Robyn flips. Kody's face drains of color. Robyn walks forward, voice eerily calm. I'll give you everything. Emails, passwords, files. I want immunity. The investigator nods. Recorded. Kody glares at her. She looks back. I told you this would happen. The judge turns to Kody. Based on this testimony and the evidence provided, I am recommending formal criminal charges against Mr. Kody Brown. Gavel, order, handcuffs. Kody doesn't fight. He only looks down. Christine exhales. Meri turns away. Robyn watches, expressionless. Because sometimes the one you protect most is the one who buries you first. The final day, no press. No chaos, just gravity. Kody's gone, held without bail. Robyn sits alone, pale and silent. Meri enters last, no folder, no fear. The judge speaks. This restraining order case is now superseded by an active criminal investigation. Before we close, Miss Brown wishes to make a final statement. Meri stands. I spent years believing I was the problem. That if I was quieter, smaller, more loyal, I'd finally be enough. I believed in family, in him, in love that required my silence. But silence isn't peace. It's surrender. She turns to Robyn. You came to my house with a folder, but what you really carried were the lies we all lived under. You didn't want to hurt me, but someone had to throw the grenade. A pause. There's a moment every woman faces, when surviving isn't enough. She wants to live, to speak, to be free. Meri breathes. This courtroom didn't give me closure. It gave me clarity. I forgive you, Robyn. Gasps. I forgive you because holding it won't fix what's broken. But it might set me free. She looks at the judge. That wasn't a statement, Meri says softly. That was goodbye. The judge nods. At the judge. That wasn't a statement, Meri says softly. That was goodbye. The judge nods. The restraining order is resolved. Meri Brown is granted full legal severance. Kody Brown remains under criminal charge. Case closed. Bang. Gavel. Silence. Closure isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, "You're free." Meri walks outside. Reporters shout. She just smiles. No comment. Because some stories don't need sequels, only endings. And this one was never about polygamy or power. It was about silence, and what it costs to finally break it.